Hello Pokemon trainers, welcome back to another Pokemon Scarlet and Violet video here on iStarly TV. So the next Tera Raid event, the next 7-star Tera Raid event has been announced. Kudos or courtesy of Cerebi.net, we're showing this screen here, so check out Cerebi.net for all of your Pokemon needs, I guess. I always advocate for them, but anyways, Samurott is going to be the next 7-star Tera Raid event in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and it's actually coming this week, towards the end of this week. So that would be, if you're in the United States, basically Thursday night is when this will be live, just like all the other raids. I am currently in Pacific time, so for me that's usually about like 4 p.m. on a Thursday. Let me actually check that real quick. Yeah, I checked and that should be right. So this is Bug Tera Type Samurott. So I wanted to kind of talk about, you know, just the raid event in general, and also how exciting it is that we're getting one so soon after the Decidueye event, but also maybe make some plans for what could be some good Pokemon to take down this raid event. This is a little interesting one because if you look at all the things that Samurott has going for it, especially as a bug type, it's going to be interesting to plan for Pokemon that are going to be really good against it. And obviously there might be some that I'm completely missing. So definitely let me know in the comments who you think will be one of the best Pokemon for this raid event. As always, of course, we won't really know until we get into the raid event. Like right now, this is all speculation. So if you're listening to me, I don't know the answers. If you're listening to other YouTubers, they don't know the answers yet, right? Until that exact time on this Thursday or Friday, depending on where you are in the world, we will not know exactly how, exactly the best counter. Because a lot of the times it's happened where we know the 7-star raid Pokemon, we plan a bunch of Pokemon to take it down, and then maybe one or two of the Pokemon that we thought would be best is actually not, because it has a certain move or something or strategy that just renders it obsolete. So anyways, it's really exciting to get Samurott in the games, and people are speculating that this means that the next event after it will probably be Typhlosion, which of course would be very cool. But anyways, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Let's talk a little bit about Samurott in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And again, this is on Cerebi.net on Samurott's Scarlet and Violet Pokedex entry, because Samurott's data is actually in Scarlet and Violet. It's just obviously Samurott itself is not yet in the game. This of course does mean we're going to be getting little Oshawott in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which is really fun and really cute. So Samurott, of course, let's kind of look at those stats first of all. Samurott is a physical attacker. Actually, it actually has a higher special attack stat. However, I think the thing with Samurott is that it has more powerful moves that are physical. So I've seen a lot of people online kind of basically already assuming that this is going to be a physical attacker. And again, as with always, like, you know, we might plan for that, and then if it ends up being a special attacker, then we're kind of in a lot of trouble. So let's keep that in mind, the fact that it actually has a higher special attack stat. However, its physical move pool seems to be a lot more notable, I guess you could say. So it learns moves like Night Slash and Sacred Sword from its physical side. Now this very well could be a mixed attacker as well. If it's a mixed attacker, that also, on the one hand, that makes it really difficult because, you know, if you try to bring a physical Pokemon, then it might have a special move that destroys you. But on the other hand, it also makes it sometimes a little bit easier because it means that it's trying to do two different things, and it ends up kind of sometimes not being that strong in either of them. So again, this is all speculation. I'm going to talk about Pokemon that I think have a good shot here, but also, again, please keep in mind that I very well could be wrong about a lot of this, and that's why I want to open up discussion. So please let me know in the comments. Like I keep saying, I would like to see what you all think is good, and maybe someone will leave a comment and I'll realize that I missed that Pokemon, and it'll be a great idea. Now the funny thing is, this is a Bug Tera type, which is going to be, of course, weak to fire, rock, flying, etc. The funny thing is, though, those first two types that I named are also weak to water, and of course, since this is still Samurott, it's going to have some strong water moves. Whether it's a physical or special attacker, it's going to have at least one strong water move. Maybe Hydro Pump, maybe Surf, maybe Aqua Cutter, or I think a lot of people are expecting Aqua Cutter or Razor Shell for that matter. So don't bring a fire or rock type unless you want to have a really bad time. So that leaves, as far as super effective types go, Flying is probably going to be one of the better ones that you're going to want to look at, because of course Flying resists Bug and deals super effective damage to it. So let's start with one of these Pokemon here, Pelipper. I love Pelipper. I've seen people speculate this. On the one hand, Pelipper with Drizzle makes its Hurricanes 100% accurate, which means that it can hit decently hard. However, sadly, Pelipper is just not that strong of a Pokemon. So even with the, 100% accurate Hurricanes, I honestly don't expect it to do all that much damage to Samurott, and we don't really have too many reliable ways of boosting our stats as Pelipper. So unfortunately, as much as I love Pelipper, another important thing is Pelipper resists water, and it resists bug, it resists fighting. Besides that though, I don't think Pelipper is going to be great. It's tanky, maybe as a support Pokemon. And as always, I want to make it clear that with a lot of what I'm talking about here, I'm talking specifically about soloing these raids because that's how I play it. If you have other people to play with, as I always say, it's easier. So you can kind of use a lot of other Pokemon. Your options open up significantly if you're playing with other people. It makes it easier to do these raids. But anyways, for Pelipper, I would love to use it and I'd love to be proven wrong, but beyond Hurricane, it just doesn't really get much that can help it. And once Samurott sets up its shield, it's going to be hard to break it with Pelipper, and then eventually Rain will run out, and at that point, your Hurricanes might miss. So I love me some Pelipper, but I just don't think it's going to be cutting it for soloing. The next Pokemon is one that I think has been getting a lot of attention, and that's Corviknight. I think I'm on the Gen 8 Dex entry, which it doesn't matter really. But anyways, Corviknight is a great Pokemon. It's very tanky, and its typing is excellent. It resists bug, it resists... Actually, the funny thing is that's it as far as Samurott's move pool. If we're talking about it having dark and water and fighting type moves, Corviknight does not resist those, but it's still bulky enough that it probably can shrug off a lot of the damage from those moves, and it can set up bulk ups and then eventually hit with drill pecks. So, one strategy that I immediately thought of was like maybe Slowbro, and then Slowbro can set up Iron Defense, kind of like it used to do, and like with the Cinderace Raid Event, and then destroy it with Sword Power. But Sword Power is not super effective, and it was super effective against Cinderace and Greninja, so that type of strategy might not really work. And I think the big problem here is that there just aren't enough flying types that are both defensive enough to take hits from Samurott and offensive enough to deal a lot of damage. So something I realized as I was talking about it that I missed is that people are speculating that Samurott could possibly have focus energy, which boosts the power, which increases the chance of landing critical hits. And with the move Aqua Cutter, which Samurott does learn as an egg move, so it's very possible it could have it. It basically makes it so that it'll crit with Aqua Cutter almost all the time, if not every time. So that's going to be something to keep in mind. If you are using a Pokemon that boosts its defenses, like Corviknight, a critical hit will ignore all your boosts, and that can very well ruin your day. So again, there's a lot of ifs about this raid. So this is not supposed to be anything super, set in stone. Another Pokemon I want to talk quickly about is Gyarados. Resists water, resists bug, resists fighting for what it's worth, and it can set up Dragon Dances. Gyarados is strong, and Dragon Dance is a good setup move, but I just feel like it's not setting up quickly enough. I don't know. I'm going to try it out, or I'm going to consider it, but I don't know. And all these Pokemon, I just don't feel like there's a clear answer. Like with all the previous raid events, I feel like we could speculate, and then we could land on like at least one or two Pokemon that were like, okay, this Pokemon can resist almost every possible move that the 7-star raid boss has. This time around, I'm not sure. Bombirdier is another one that I've seen mentioned. It's just not bulky enough though, because it does have that ability that increases the power of its rock type moves, which is really cool. But another thing about these flying types, and then as you'll see my next one that I'm going to talk about is Salamence. Another thing about these where they're typically very good against a bug type Samurott. If Samurott has an ice type move, your day is pretty much ruined as well, especially as Salamence. So I might build Salamence as well beforehand. I just love Salamence in general. I probably have one lying around that's pretty ready to go already. But just keep in mind that if they have a ice type move, then your day is ruined. The last Pokemon I want to speculate on, I actually thought, I thought I found something when I thought of this Pokemon, and then I thought more about it, and I was like, actually, that's probably not going to work out. But that is Koraidon. Koraidon resists water, and it summons the sunlight, so it lowers the power of water type moves from Samurott additionally, which is great. It resists bug, it resists dark, and it does not resist fighting, but it shouldn't be taking too much damage. It also has access to bulk up. Now, the big downside with Koraidon is that it doesn't really have very many good physical fire type moves. Honestly, the best that it gets, and this is pretty laughable, is Fire Fang. So my thought was maybe you could go Tera Fire on your Koraidon and then set up a bunch of bulk ups. You know, it even has access to Screech to lower Samurott's defense stat. And then from there, you can fire off like a Fire Fang or two, possibly burn Samurott. And if you burn it, then that weakens it even further if it's a physical attacker. And then, you know, once you've attacked a few times, you can Terrasilize into a fire type and then use Terra Blast, which will be a lot stronger. This probably isn't going to work out that well. I mean, yes, Koraidon does resist a lot of Samurott's moves, like I said, but I don't think that this is going to be the best, even though I'd like it to be true. Again, if Samurott's a special attacker and it has an ice type move, then that also kind of throws a big wrench in this plan. So I don't know. I think this is the Pokemon I'm leaning towards first of all, although I wouldn't be surprised if Fire Fang is not enough to cut it. It does have Flare Blitz, but you never want to use those recoil moves in 7-star raids or in any raid for that matter, because you'll automatically faint. And then it does have a lot of good special fire moves, but its special attack is just not cutting it. So, I mean, maybe with Sunlight, that's enough to like boost it a little bit, but I don't know. That's my bottom line for this raid event is I don't know. So I hope this video, you know, got some discussion going, helped you out somehow. You know, if anything, maybe announcing it was something you didn't know. But either way, I'm really excited about this. Let me know in the comments which Pokemon I'm missing and which Pokemon you think will be good in this raid event. Also, let me know your hype level for Samurott. I'm really excited. Honestly, you know, Samurott's a cool Pokemon, don't get me wrong. It's never been one of my straight up favorite starters, but just getting different Pokemon into Scarlet and Violet that are not currently in the game makes me really excited. So I'm really excited for Samurott. Let me know in the comments. I hope you have a great day. Please like and subscribe for more Pokemon Scarlet and Violet videos. Of course, when this raid event starts in a few days, I will be doing another video talking about once we found the best counter. I will definitely be showcasing my strategies for that. So thank you very much for watching. Have a great one.